I never thought my life could fall apart in a single evening. Hey, did you leave this here? Elena called from the kitchen, holding my phone. I laughed, taking it from her. Thanks, I didn't even notice I dropped it. She smiled, that soft, perfect smile I'd loved for years. You've been so busy lately, work again? Yeah, I said, shrugging. You know me. Daniel walked in, casually leaning against the doorway. Hey, man. You okay? I looked at him, smiling. Of course. Just tired. Work stuff. Daniel nodded and said nothing more, which I didn't think much of. But I did notice the way he glanced at Elena, just for a second, and then looked away. I shook my head. Nothing's wrong, I told myself. I'm imagining things. Later that night, we sat in the living room, all three of us. Elena laughed at some joke I made, and I felt my chest swell with happiness. Daniel smiled too, but it was different. Forced, almost tense. I ignored it, sipping my drink. I've been thinking, Daniel said, maybe you should take a break. Go on vacation or something. I raised an eyebrow. You really think I can just leave everything behind? You need it, he said. His voice was gentle, almost too gentle. Elena nodded. He's right. You've been pushing yourself too hard. I laughed. Wow, a surprise tag team. Planning my escape. She smiled, squeezing my hand. Maybe. It should have been normal. It should have felt safe. But something inside me pricked, an unease I couldn't shake. The next morning, I found it. A message on my work email, urgent, marked top priority. My boss's tone was sharp, accusing. We need an explanation. How did this happen? I frowned. What happened? I muttered to myself, opening the attached file. My heart stopped. Screenshots, conversations, documents, all pointing to me. My name in black and white, tied to mistakes I never made, decisions I never approved. Panic clawed at my chest. I heard Elena behind me. What's wrong? I spun around. Look at this. This isn't possible. She frowned, biting her lip. I don't know. I turned to Daniel. Did you do this? Tell me it's not true. He hesitated, glancing at Elena. I didn't think it would get this far. Didn't think it would get this far. My voice shook. You ruined my life. Elena stepped closer, almost pleading. I never wanted this, I swear. You were both laughing at me behind my back. I screamed, my chest tight. All those months, my trust, wasted. Daniel opened his mouth, but I cut him off. Don't even talk. I trusted you, Daniel. I trusted you more than anyone. Elena's eyes glistened. I didn't mean to. Save it. I snapped. I can't even look at either of you right now. I ran out of the apartment, my hands shaking, heart pounding. The city felt cold, the streets empty, as if the world itself was mocking me. Every memory of smiles, laughter, promises, they all turned to ash in my mouth. I leaned against a lamppost, gasping, tears blurring my vision. Betrayal, sharp and raw, dug into my chest. How could they? How could the two people I trusted the most destroy everything I worked for, everything I believed in? I didn't have an answer. I didn't have control. All I felt was the dizzying, suffocating weight of their betrayal. And somewhere deep down, I knew, my life had just ended. I didn't know where to go. My apartment felt suffocating, every corner a reminder of their smiles, their lies. I dialed Max, my oldest friend. I needed someone. Max, it's bad, I whispered when he answered. What's wrong? His voice sounded calm, but I could hear concern. It's Elena, and Daniel. My throat tightened. They destroyed everything. My career, my life, my trust. Slow down. Take a breath, he said. Tell me exactly what happened. I laughed bitterly. Exactly what happened? Do you have a minute, or maybe a lifetime? Start from the beginning, he said. I'm listening. I recounted the email, the evidence, my confrontation. I can't believe it. I gave them everything. Everything, Max. Did you talk to them after? He asked. Yes. And I swallowed hard. They didn't even apologize. My hands shook. They didn't even care. That's horrible, man. I'm so sorry. I keep replaying everything in my head, I said. Every smile, every touch, every word Elena whispered to me. Was it all fake? I don't know, Max said slowly. But maybe it wasn't about you. Maybe it was about them. Their greed, their selfishness. I slammed my hand on the table. It doesn't matter why. It matters what they did to me. And Daniel, my own brother. There's nothing you could have done to stop it, okay? Not everything is on you, Max said firmly. I shook my head. Easy for you to say. You weren't there, pretending to love me, while plotting behind my back. My voice cracked. I feel so stupid. So weak. How could I not see it? Hey, Max's voice softened. You're not stupid. You trusted someone you loved. That's not weakness, it's humanity. I wanted to believe him, but the pit in my stomach wouldn't let me. I keep thinking, all the signs were there. The way Daniel avoided my calls, the way Elena, I paused, choking back tears. The way she looked at him. I ignored it. I thought I was imagining things. I should have seen it. I should have. Stop blaming yourself, Max said. You can't control other people's choices. What they did is on them. I buried my face in my hands. It hurts too much. Every memory is poisoned. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I keep seeing them, laughing, plotting, pretending. And me? I'm the joke, Max. The fool. You're not a fool. You're human. And humans hurt. But humans survive. You will too. I shook my head. Survive, how? I lost everything. My work, my friends, my pride. They took it all. Even the life I had imagined for myself. Then maybe it's time to imagine a new one, Max said quietly. One that they can't touch. One that's yours. I looked up, anger and despair mixing in my chest. A new life, but how? How do you even start after betrayal like this? Start small, Max said. Regain yourself first. Find your ground. Then you decide what to do with them. I swallowed hard, staring at the floor. I don't think I can forgive them. I don't even know if I want to move on. That's okay, he said. You don't have to decide now. Just survive the days. Don't let them see you broken. Not yet. Not ever. I nodded silently. You're right. I can't stay here crying forever. But I don't know if I can stop thinking about revenge either. You'll figure it out, Max said. And when you do, I'll be here. Every step. I hung up the phone, my hands trembling. The room felt emptier than ever, but there was a spark, anger, pain, something sharp that refused to die. I sat there, replaying every laugh, every touch, every betrayal, and I felt it solidify inside me. I wasn't going to let them win. I didn't know what I would do next. I didn't know when. But I knew one thing, I would rise again, stronger than they could imagine. I stood in the apartment doorway, my hands trembling. Elena was sitting on the couch, scrolling on her phone, like nothing had happened. Daniel leaned against the kitchen counter, sipping coffee, pretending to be casual. "I need to talk to both of you," I said, my voice low but shaking. Elena looked up, eyebrows raised. "About what?" "You know what," I snapped. "About everything you did. About how you ruined my life." Daniel chuckled, a short, bitter sound. "Calm down. You're overreacting." "Overreacting?" I echoed, my voice rising. "You think destroying my career, my trust, my entire life is overreacting?" Elena's lips twitched. "I didn't plan it like that." "You didn't plan it?" I shouted, taking a step closer. "Then how do you explain the emails? The files? All of it pointing at me?" Daniel finally spoke, his tone almost condescending. "Look, I didn't expect it to get so messy. We never meant for you to, well, crash like this." "Crash like this?" I laughed bitterly. "Do you even hear yourself? You're twisting everything, Daniel. You slept with her. You betrayed me. And now you act like I'm the problem." Elena's voice was soft, but venom laced every word. "You were too blind to see us. I didn't want to hurt you, not really. But, things happened." "Things happened?" My fists clenched. "You think that makes it okay?" Daniel leaned forward, smirking slightly. "Honestly, I think you need to move on. Stop playing the victim." I felt rage rise like fire, burning through every ounce of reason. "Move on? You destroyed everything I had. And you? You just sit there and smile like I'm imagining this nightmare." Elena's eyes filled with tears, or maybe it was a trick. "I'm sorry. I never wanted it to hurt you this much." I shook my head. "You don't get it. Sorry doesn't fix anything. It doesn't undo the humiliation, the betrayal, the lies." Daniel's smirk turned into irritation. "You're letting this eat you alive. You need to let it go, or you'll never recover." "Let it go?" I echoed. "Let it go while you two get away with everything?" "Never." My voice cracked. "You don't understand what it's like to feel powerless. To have your whole world ripped apart by the people you trusted most." Elena's voice shook. "I didn't know how to tell you. I never wanted." "Stop!" I screamed. "Just stop." For a long moment, silence filled the room. My chest heaved, my hands were clammy, and my vision blurred with fury and heartbreak. I wanted to scream, to hit, to shake them until they understood the pain they caused. But I didn't. I realized something in that moment: anger alone wouldn't fix this. Powerlessness was no longer an option. "I can't stay like this," I said finally, my voice quieter but cold. "I can't keep letting you control my life even from the ruins you left behind." Daniel frowned, clearly confused. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," I stepped forward, letting the rage solidify into clarity, "that I'm done being your victim. I'm done letting you walk over me. I'm taking back my life. Every part of it." Elena blinked, stunned. You can't just." "Oh, I can," I interrupted, my voice steady now, though my heart pounded. "And I will. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. And when I do, you'll wish you'd never touched my life." Daniel laughed, nervous now. "You're serious?" I nodded, a chilled determination settling into my bones. "Deadly serious. You two have had your fun. You've had your laughs. But this ends. Not with your hands raised, not with your apologies, but with me in control." Elena looked away, silent. Daniel's smirk faded. I took a deep breath, feeling the storm inside me shift from despair to purpose. I don't know exactly how yet. But one thing is certain, I will rise from this. And when I do, you'll regret ever betraying me. I turned and walked out of the apartment, leaving them in stunned silence. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks: power. Not over them, not yet. But over me. And that, I knew, was the first step toward everything else. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of regret, but because of plans. The betrayal had left me broken, but broken things could be reforged. Stronger. Sharper. Smarter. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" a voice asked. I looked up. A man stood across from me in the small training room. His name was Victor, a friend of a friend, someone who could teach me more than just defense. "I don't have a choice," I said. "I've spent too long letting people step on me. Elena. Daniel. I can't do it anymore." Victor studied me, arms crossed. "Most people would crumble. You want more than survival. You want power." "I want control," I corrected. "Over myself first. Then over the world they ruined for me." He nodded slowly. "Good. Discipline, strategy, patience. Those are the foundations. You start tomorrow." "Tomorrow isn't soon enough," I muttered, but I kept my tone calm. "I need to learn fast. I can't waste time." Victor raised an eyebrow. "Fast means you'll hurt yourself if you're careless." "I've already been hurt," I said quietly. "I know pain. I won't break again." That week, I pushed myself harder than I ever thought possible. Early mornings, late nights. I studied finance, social dynamics, negotiation, strategy. Every skill, every connection I could make, I absorbed like a sponge. "You're aggressive," Victor remarked one evening. "Most people can't keep up with this pace." "I'm not most people," I said. "I've already been crushed. This is survival." He smirked. "Survival doesn't always mean strength. It means patience too. Don't forget that." I nodded, even though inside, impatience burned. Patience was a luxury I didn't feel I deserved. A few days later, I met Lila. She was sharp, confident, and she didn't flinch when I spoke about my past. "You've been through a lot," she said. "And now? You want revenge?" "Maybe," I admitted. "Maybe it's not just revenge. Maybe it's showing them they underestimated me. That they can't touch me anymore." She smiled faintly. "I like that. Careful, though. Power is more effective when it's subtle." "I know," I said. "That's why I'm not going to rush. I want them to see it slowly, to realize the person they destroyed isn't gone. They just created someone they'll regret underestimating." Lila leaned back, crossing her arms. "Sounds like you've already started planting the seeds." "Yes," I said, my tone softening just slightly. "Small changes at first. I'm reconnecting with people, gaining influence, showing I'm moving forward. But everything is calculated. Every word, every action has a purpose." Victor appeared behind her, shaking his head with a grin. "I didn't realize she'd recruited a strategist already." "She's learning fast," I said. "I don't have time for mistakes anymore." Victor nodded. "Good. But remember, this isn't about impressing us. It's about making yourself unbreakable. You need patience, foresight, and restraint. Those are weapons just as strong as fists or money." I swallowed, thinking of Elena and Daniel. "I understand. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for me. If they feel the consequences, that's just collateral." Lila's eyes glinted. "Collateral can be satisfying." I laughed lightly, a sound I hadn't heard in weeks. "It can be. But only when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet." Over the next few weeks, I honed my skills, both mental and physical. I spent hours in meetings with potential allies, learning negotiation tactics, and observing how influence spread. I wasn't just surviving, I was preparing, building the person I needed to become. Victor called it discipline. Lila called it subtlety. I called it rebirth. One night, after hours of planning, I looked in the mirror. The person staring back at me wasn't the broken fool who cried over betrayal. He was sharper, focused, deliberate. The anger was still there, simmering, but controlled. The pain had become fuel. "I'm not the same," I whispered to myself. "And when they see me again, they'll realize exactly what they've lost." Lila's voice came from the doorway, calm and almost teasing. "You're ready to step into the world. But remember, the smallest cracks in your mask will be noticed." "I'll make sure they never see them," I said, straightening my back. "Not until it's time." And for the first time in months, I felt a surge of clarity. The person I had been, naive, trusting, broken, was gone. In her place, I was rising. Calculated. Patient. Dangerous. And soon, Elena and Daniel would wish they'd never touched my life. I started small. A question at a meeting, a polite eyebrow raise in a hallway. I watched them like a hawk while they flaunted winnings they hadn't earned. They celebrated and forgot how fragile their house was. "Did you see the board's reaction yesterday?" Daniel said at a networking lunch, laughing too loudly like he wanted applause. "You really think they don't see through you?" I asked, tone easy. He blinked. "What are you talking about?" "The numbers," I said. "They don't add up." "You're jealous," he snapped. "Always were." Elena drifted over, glass in hand, smile glossy. "Starting rumors now," she purred. "I ask questions," I said. "Questions get answers." Later, I met Lila for coffee. "They feel untouchable," I said, stirring the cup. "They always do," she replied. "Pride makes people reckless." "So I poke," I said. "Small things. Casual mentions. I plant doubt while I listen." "You're playing a dangerous game," she warned. "Maybe," I said. "But they started it." Victor saw me at a fundraiser and studied my face. "You look more polished," he said. "I learned to wear a role," I answered. "I'm practicing influence." "Don't lose yourself," he said quietly. "That's the risk." I nodded. I was careful. Daniel began to make mistakes, missed deadlines, sloppy decks. I raised polite questions, and whispers followed. "Someone's been sloppy," a junior associate told me by the elevator. "Thought nobody was watching." "Keep records," I said. "Save your emails. Be honest if asked." She left relieved and scared. People had been silenced by fear. I taught them a different script, quiet courage. At a charity gala, Daniel fumbled names during his speech. His smile stuttered. "You okay?" I asked in the corridor. "Tired." "Big night," he forced. "Get help," I suggested. "A coach, an editor. People notice." "I don't need it," he snapped. "I have control." "That's not what it looked like," I said. Gossip surfaced. I listened. Karma only needs a nudge. At work, my seed sprouted. I mentioned a potential investor in conversation, and a contact forwarded my name. I volunteered for a project, proved competence, and people began to trust me. The change was slow, steady, real. "Nice work leading that presentation," my boss told me. "You handled the questions well." "Thanks." "I wanted to clear confusion," I said. "Keep it up," he said. Elena tried to bait me into drama, leaning close at events. "You seem distant," she whispered once. "Focused," I replied. "We used to be close," she said. We used to be different, I answered. People change. Her teeth clenched. Be careful. Revenge is a bitter drink. Maybe. But bitter can wake you, I said. A junior analyst pulled me aside one afternoon. Do you know about the figures Daniel submitted? She asked, voice low. What do you mean? I leaned toward her. They don't add up. I flagged it, but was told to ignore it, she said. I didn't want trouble. You did the right thing, I said. Keep copies. If asked, be honest. She nodded, trembling. Thank you. These small acts mattered. I wasn't just undermining them, I was rebuilding trust in the cracks they left. One night, Elena cornered me in a crowd. Who are you now? She demanded. You taught me how to act, I said. I learned from the best. You think you can replace what we had? She spat. I don't want to replace it, I said. I want my life back. Her eyes searched for weakness and found none. You're dangerous, she said softly. Only to people who deserve it, I replied. Victor called me once, voice low. You could expose them, go public. They'd crash. Public ruin is messy, I answered. I want consequences that last. Quiet, certain consequences. Then keep patience, he advised. Precision beats spectacle. Lila grinned when she heard. You're subtle, she said. They don't know who's turning the screws. You prefer fire? I asked. Not always, she said. Sometimes a slow burn leaves no way back. Weeks turned into months. Daniel's name surfaced in hushed board conversations. An audit began. People who once flattered him sought me out for advice. Elena's favors lost value. I didn't spread rumors. I answered when asked and helped when needed. My actions were small and constant, nudges in corridors, supportive emails, quiet competence in meetings. One evening, a senior board member called Daniel into his office. I waited outside. He emerged pale and tight-lipped. This is a hiccup, he muttered when he saw me. We'll manage. Do you think so? I asked. Of course, he lied. I watched him walk away and felt the ground shift. The slow game had begun to redraw loyalties. I had lit the first candles, the room was finding its own way out of darkness. I was no longer surviving. I was steering. The collapse I orchestrated was quiet, deliberate, and inevitable. That night, Lila and Victor met me at a small bar. Do you ever worry you'll become what you hate? Victor asked over the low music. Sometimes, I admitted. But I remember who hurt me. That keeps me honest. Lila tapped my glass. Honor and strategy can coexist, she said. Just don't let anger be your map. I won't, I promised. Anger is fuel, not a destination. They smiled, and I felt steady. The plan was unfolding. The slow game would end well, on my terms. Reckoning would come soon. I thought I had everything under control. But today reminded me how fragile plans can be. Wait, did you hear what he said in the meeting? A junior associate whispered, leaning against my office door. What are you talking about? I asked, feigning casual interest. They mentioned your name in a report Daniel filed. People are wondering if you know about the discrepancies. My stomach tightened. Did anyone see me react? No, but they're talking, she said, fidgeting. I didn't want to get involved. Thank you, I said softly. And don't. Just, keep doing your job, and stay cautious. Later, I met Victor at the small cafe we often used. Close call, he asked, sliding a coffee across the table. Too close, I admitted. If anyone had noticed, the whole game could have collapsed. Victor leaned back. That's the risk when you play both sides. You're pushing them, but you can't be sloppy. I know, I said. I almost revealed too much today, by mistake. I need to be careful, or all of this, I gestured at the files I kept in my bag, falls apart. You're learning, he said. Fear can sharpen focus, if you let it. Let it guide you, not paralyze you. I nodded, but doubt lingered. Could I really pull this off? Could I survive the exposure of even one small misstep? Lila arrived, sliding into the booth next to me. You look tense, she said. What happened? Daniel almost caught wind of my involvement in the audit, I confessed. I barely covered it. She frowned. You're walking a knife's edge. One wrong move and it all collapses. I know, I said, rubbing my temple. I can't let anyone see fear. I can't give them a single clue. You've come so far, she said quietly. But sometimes, it's okay to admit you're human. Vulnerable. Even if it's just to me. I looked at her and felt a small weight lift. I've been pretending to be unshakable. But inside, it's chaos. Anger, fear, doubt. Sometimes I think I'm not ready for what's coming. You're more ready than you realize, Lila said firmly. You're cautious, strategic, and patient. Those are stronger than brute force. Victor nodded. Even when doubt creeps in, it sharpens you. Remember, the closer you feel to losing control, the more aware you become of every move. I just hate feeling weak, I muttered. I hate the thought that Daniel could ruin everything with a single slip. He can't, Victor said. Not if you control yourself. The plan isn't about perfection, it's about resilience. I exhaled slowly. Resilience. Right. Later that evening, I reviewed the files, double-checked every email, every subtle action I'd taken. Lila appeared beside me, peering over my shoulder. You're meticulous, she said. But remember, perfection is an illusion. Balance caution with progress. I feel the pressure every day, I admitted. Every interaction, every smile, every word could betray me. And that's okay, she said. It means you care. Just don't let it consume you. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Could I continue like this? Living in constant vigilance, guarding every word, every step. Fear tugged at me, whispering that I'd slip. But underneath, determination burned brighter. I won't slip, I whispered to myself. Not now. Not ever. Victor's voice broke my thoughts. Good. That fire will carry you. Doubt is a test. You either let it paralyze you or let it sharpen you. You know which path you've chosen. I've chosen to survive, I said firmly. And to win. Lila smiled faintly. And when you win, it will mean more because you fought through the fear. I just hope it's enough, I admitted. I've seen how fast one small mistake can ruin everything. It will be enough, Victor assured me. Because you're learning, adapting. That's what they can't see coming. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the tension drain slightly. Then I'll keep moving forward. Carefully. Quietly. Until the moment they realize I'm untouchable. And by then, Lila said softly, it will be too late for them to do anything. I opened my eyes and nodded. Too late, I whispered, letting the thought anchor me. Fear lingered, but so did resolve. I would endure, and I would rise. I saw it start subtly at first. A slip of the tongue, a miscalculated move, a glance that revealed doubt. Daniel was overconfident, Elena careless, and I had waited for this moment for months. You look tired, I said casually to Daniel at a business lunch. Tired? Me? I'm fine, he said, though his hand shook slightly as he reached for his glass. I thought the numbers might be off, I added smoothly. Mistakes happen. He forced a laugh. Don't worry about it. I've got everything under control. I nodded, letting my eyes linger on him just long enough. Control is fragile. Even the smallest cracks matter. Elena appeared shortly after, leaning into the conversation with a smile that no longer seemed effortless. You always worry too much, she said, her tone sharp. I'm observant, I replied. You should be too. People notice more than you think. She froze, and I could see the flicker of unease in her eyes. I leaned back, letting the silence stretch. Later, I overheard whispers in the hallway. Did you see Daniel stumble through the presentation? Amateur hour, one colleague murmured. I smiled faintly, sipping my coffee. Karma was subtle, but inevitable. A week later, I ran into Lila at the cafe. They're slipping, I said quietly. I noticed, she replied. Elena is losing her charm in social circles. People are questioning Daniel's judgment. You've done more than you realize. I didn't do anything overt, I said. I just let them be themselves. Their arrogance will do the rest. That's brilliant, she said. They're blind to their own mistakes. Victor joined us, shaking his head. Patience is working. But stay careful. They'll lash out when they sense it. I can handle it, I said. I'm learning to watch, not react. Observation is power. Later, I attended a board meeting where Daniel presented a strategy. I raised a single question, innocuous but pointed. He stammered. His confident mask cracked, if only for a moment. Perhaps we need more data before committing, I suggested lightly. Daniel's jaw tightened. We have the data. You're overcomplicating. Maybe, I said softly. But overcomplicating is safer than underestimating. I watched him retreat internally while Elena whispered in his ear, frustration creeping in. They were unraveling like threads from a worn tapestry. At a social gala, I approached Elena. You seemed tense tonight, I said. I'm fine, she replied, her laugh forced. You worry too much. I'm observant, I repeated, letting my voice carry quiet authority. It's a skill. You should try it sometime. Her smile faltered. I don't need lessons from you. Of course, I said. But remember, actions speak louder than words. People see more than you realize. Later, a junior associate came to me hesitantly. Daniel made another error in the report. Everyone's noticing. Good, I said quietly. Keep calm. Document everything. Accuracy will protect you, and it will make the cracks visible. She nodded, relieved. Thank you. I was afraid of retaliation. Fear is natural, I said. But truth is stronger than threats. Remember that. A week later, gossip reached my ears. Daniel had been called into a private meeting with investors. Elena was visibly frustrated during social gatherings. Subtle questions began to surface about their competence. Their world was starting to tremble under its own weight. I met Victor at our usual cafe. You're smiling too much, he said. I can't help it, I admitted. It's satisfying to watch. They're finally feeling the consequences of their own arrogance. Victor raised an eyebrow. Satisfaction is fine, but don't get careless. Pride can make you reckless too. I know, I said. But this isn't about gloating. It's about watching balance restore itself. Lila appeared beside us. You're like a ghost in their world, she said softly. You're everywhere and nowhere. They can't anticipate you. Exactly, I said. I don't interfere directly. I just exist as a silent reminder. Their mistakes, their arrogance, their carelessness, they expose themselves. Sometimes watching is better than acting, she said. Sometimes, I agreed. It's far more powerful when they crumble by their own doing. Karma isn't loud. It's precise. That evening, I attended a private dinner. Daniel's confidence was gone, replaced by tight smiles and jerky gestures. Elena avoided eye contact with key guests. They whispered nervously to each other while I moved through the crowd with ease, calm, composed. I caught Elena's glance for a brief moment. Her eyes searched mine, and I could see the recognition of loss forming, the realization that the tables had shifted. Daniel tried to laugh, but it rang hollow. I approached him later. "Everything all right?" I asked casually. He swallowed, forcing a smile. "Fine. Absolutely fine." "Good," I said. "Because it seems people are noticing things you didn't anticipate." He froze. I left him there, letting the thought settle. Silence can be louder than any confrontation. As I walked away, I felt the satisfaction bloom quietly inside me. They were unraveling, not by force, not by exposure, but by their own flaws. And I was finally watching the power shift, calm and untouchable, while the world they had built for themselves began to fracture. I walked into the office, the files under my arm heavy with months of preparation. Daniel and Elena were already there, unaware of what was coming. Their arrogance still lingered, but the edges were frayed. "I see you've both arrived," I said calmly, letting my voice cut through the silence. Elena's smile faltered. What is this?" "Sit," I instructed. They obeyed. My hands rested on the table, spreading the documents out carefully. "Everything you did, everything you thought was hidden, it's all here." Daniel laughed nervously. "You can't prove anything." "I can," I said, sliding the first folder toward them. "Emails, transactions, witness statements. Every lie, every manipulation, every betrayal, recorded and verified." Elena leaned forward, eyes darting. "You don't understand. We didn't mean." "Didn't mean?" I interrupted. "Daniel, you destroyed my career. Elena, you betrayed the trust one gave you. And you both thought I'd stay powerless." He swallowed. I made mistakes. We never. Mistakes. I spat, voice rising. "You call premeditated lies mistakes?" Elena's hands shook. "I'm sorry. Please don't." "You should have thought of that before," I said, letting the weight of silence stretch. "Now, look at yourselves." I gestured to the folders. "The board has flagged your errors. Investors are pulling out. People you trusted are questioning every word. Your empire is crumbling because of your own arrogance." Daniel's jaw tightened. "This isn't fair." "Fair?" I asked, leaning closer. "Fair would have been your honesty, your integrity. But you chose deceit. You thought you could play me and walk away untouched." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I never wanted to hurt you. I love you." "Love?" I laughed bitterly. "Love doesn't look like what you did. You think tears erase months of betrayal?" Daniel's voice broke. "We can fix this. We can make amends." "Amends?" I shook my head. "It's too late for that. You see, the difference now is that I control the narrative. I decide the outcome. Not you." Elena's voice quivered. "Please. I'll do anything. Just don't ruin me completely." "I'm not here to ruin you," I said calmly, letting the tension sit heavy in the air. "I'm here to show you the consequences of your actions. And make no mistake, consequences are unavoidable." Daniel's face paled. You're serious." "I've never been more serious in my life," I said. "You underestimated me. You thought I was weak. But I've learned, I've grown, and now, I let a pause hang. Now you see the power shift." Elena whispered, "Please, forgive me." I leaned back, studying them both. Forgiveness isn't simple. It doesn't erase what you've done. I could choose vengeance, humiliation, or I could let silent satisfaction be my reward. Daniel's shoulders slumped. You could destroy us completely. Why hesitate? Because, I said slowly, seeing you beg, watching you crumble under your own weight, that is already justice. I don't need to add anything. You've earned this lesson. The world is already teaching it. Elena's tears fell freely now. I'll never forget this. Please, I beg. I know, I said. And neither will you forget what it feels like to be powerless. I let the silence grow, letting them absorb every word, every glance. Their desperation, their arrogance now tinged with fear, filled the room like a tangible weight. Victor's voice echoed in my memory, patience, observation, restraint. I had followed every instruction. I had waited. Now, it all converged in this moment. I could humiliate you, I continued softly. I could expose every detail publicly. But why? The slow burn, the quiet unraveling, that's far more effective. And you've already done the work yourselves. Daniel's lips quivered. You're merciless. I'm not merciless, I corrected. I'm deliberate. Every action you took came with a cost. I merely ensured the cost reached you. Elena whispered, broken, I'm sorry. Truly sorry. I hear you, I said. But apologies don't change the past. They only remind me that I survived it, and that you didn't anticipate the strength you provoked in me. Daniel's voice dropped to a near whisper. What now? Now, I said, standing slowly, feeling the surge of power inside me, you face your own choices. The fallout is yours. I will not interfere further. I've already won. The rest is up to you. Elena and Daniel remained seated, defeated, trembling, and silent. I left the room without another word, the files left deliberately in their sight. Their empire of lies was unraveling, and I walked away lighter than I had in months. For the first time since their betrayal, I felt whole. Not because I destroyed them, but because I had reclaimed myself. And that was more powerful than anything I could have done to them. I sit in the quiet of my apartment, the city lights stretching endlessly beyond the window. The chaos of the past months feels distant now, almost surreal. Elena and Daniel's faces flicker in my mind, but the anger that once consumed me has settled into a steady calm. I think about the betrayal that shattered my life. I relive the shock, the humiliation, the moments I felt powerless. And yet, I survived. I adapted. I learned. Every tear, every sleepless night became fuel, shaping me into someone I barely recognized, but someone stronger, someone I respect. I recall the slow games, the observations, the careful manipulations. Watching them falter under their own arrogance was satisfying, yes, but it wasn't vengeance that sustained me. It was clarity, the understanding that I could reclaim my life without destroying myself in the process. Victor's words echo, patience, observation, restraint. I applied them, and they shaped me more than any rage ever could. Lila's guidance reminded me that subtlety and strategy outweigh brute force. Together, they taught me to wield power without losing myself. I remember the confrontations, the tension in the room when I laid out the proof. Their pleas, their desperation, their arrogance crumbling, it was intoxicating, but I didn't revel in their pain. I observed. I let karma unfold naturally. Their downfall was the natural consequence of their choices, and I was merely present to witness it. Now, I feel something new. A quiet confidence that doesn't demand recognition. The fire inside me has cooled into purpose. I've grown beyond anger and revenge. I've transformed that energy into ambition, into clarity, into vision. I think about the lessons learned: trust is precious, perception is power, and resilience is the ultimate weapon. I understand myself better now, the flaws, the strengths, the limits. I know what I will tolerate and what I will not. I am no longer naive, no longer reactive. I am deliberate. A soft chime interrupts my thoughts. Lila's message, dinner tonight? You deserve a break. I smile faintly. Perhaps it's the start of something lighter, something new. Companionship, perhaps even love, but not dependent, not desperate. Just shared presence. I look out at the city again. The world feels vast and open, full of possibilities I hadn't allowed myself to imagine while trapped in bitterness. The power I hold is quiet, internal, but absolute. I can choose my path without fear, without manipulation, without regrets. The journey wasn't just about defeating Elena and Daniel, it was about reclaiming myself. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the slow unraveling of their lives, it all brought me here, to a place I never thought I'd reach. I close my eyes, letting the silence envelop me. I am free. I am strong. I am whole. And for the first time in what feels like a lifetime, I smile, not at revenge, not at karma, but at the person I've become. The past will always be a shadow, but it no longer controls me. The future is mine to shape, deliberate and intentional. I am no longer a victim, no longer defined by betrayal. I am my own creation, and that is the sweetest victory of all. I step onto the balcony, the morning sun spilling gold across the city. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of possibility. My chest feels lighter than it has in years. The weight of betrayal, heartbreak, and revenge has finally lifted. I think of Elena and Daniel. Shadows now, fragments of a world I once knew. Their mistakes, their arrogance, they exist only as reminders of how far I've come. I feel no anger, only quiet acknowledgement. Karma has taken its course, and I am free from its burden. Lila joins me, smiling as she hands me a cup of coffee. You look at peace, she says softly. I am, I reply, watching the horizon. It's strange. I used to think strength was measured by what I could destroy. Now I see it's what I can preserve, my mind, my heart, my freedom. You've earned this, she says. Not because they fell, but because you rose. I nod, letting the words sink in. The city stretches endlessly before me, full of promise. I can make choices, chase dreams, build life on my own terms. The past no longer defines me, it guides me. Ready for breakfast? Lila asks, a playful spark in her eyes. Absolutely, I say, smiling genuinely for the first time in years. And this time, it's ours, no shadows, no games, just life. I take a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun, the strength inside me, and the freedom I fought so hard to reclaim. This is my new dawn. Stronger, wiser, unstoppable. The past whispers faintly, but I no longer listen. I walk forward, not to escape, but to embrace everything I am now, whole, empowered, and finally free.